So the moment that we've come to now is the dedication of the last project that we've completed with the help of our next guest, who you could say is quite the artist and dedicated person to this project. She moved to Tennessee in 1973 after graduate school to join the farm community, where she lived for 10 years, spending 13 years of that raising her children near family in Ohio, and came back to Tennessee to serve as professor of art at Martin College for 15 years. She has 14 murals placed around Giles County and many others in different places. She is a public works artist with an interest in creating outdoor installations where people can enjoy art for free at any time. And one of the reasons that they said they were going to put this art in the viaduct, beside the fact that it's beautiful, is so when we're closed, people can still enjoy part of the Trail of Tears on their walk through Pleasant Run Park and the Echo Trail here in Pulaski. And I would like to introduce our next guest, who's going to tell you a little bit about the art and the project and the people who helped her fund the project, because it didn't cost us anything. She was totally funded, and it was a totally selfless thing for her to give us this art. And I hope that the whole community can appreciate it. And in a minute we'll cut the ribbon, but Bernice Davidson, could you please come up here?
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Well, do you believe in miracles?
Yes.
Do you believe in angels?
Yes.
After you hear my story, you're really going to believe in miracles, and you're really going to believe in angels, because a bunch of my angels are here today, and some of them are secret angels, so I can't mention their names or anything. But I want to tell you a little bit about the history of this project through my point of view, because it's a little bit different than other people's perspective. Okay, just like that? Okay, how are we doing? Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So, when I was 18 years old, I graduated from high school, and in the middle of the night, my older brother came to visit me, and he had some messages for me. And one of the messages that he had for me changed my life. And he said, you know, you love your country. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, you love everything about it. And I said, yes, I do. And he said, well, I want to tell you a little something to open your eyes before you go out into the world. And that is, did you know that 15,000 Native Americans were deemed illegal in the country of their homeland? And I said, what? And he said, yes. And they were forced marched to pretty barren territory in Oklahoma. And they were left in Oklahoma. Their land was stolen from them. Their houses were used by other people. And they had to walk 1,000 miles. Well, you know, every now and then, there'll be something that comes to you that'll change your life forever. And that knowledge of that injustice changed my life forever. And I remember even back then, I thought, well, I'm still pretty much a kid, but I hope I get to be an artist in this life. And if I could be an artist in this life, I'd like to change the fact that I never learned about that in high school, that I never learned about that in grade school, that that's an injustice. And I felt like my education had failed me. And I felt very, very strongly about this. And for years and years, I wondered how I could ever do something to try to educate people that this happened. Because I believed very strongly that we cannot heal what we cannot acknowledge. And that we have to look at the injustices around us, and we have to own them. And then we can start to heal. If not, everything erupts over and over again when we push things under the rug. So I came back to Tennessee in around 1998, and I had a show at the Arts Company in Nashville. And in the show, I had these proposals to mark the Trail of Tears. And they were like big feathers that were all along the trail. And I thought, somebody's going to pick this up, and somebody's going to fund this. And nobody picked it up right then, and nobody funded it right then. But I felt good that I put that in that show. And then I got the job at the beautiful Martin Methodist College, and I settled in 1999. And I was asked to decorate a Christmas tree at a church. And some of my students came with me, and we were putting up a Christmas tree. And I met Pat Miles. And Pat happened to say to me, you know, just out of the blue, she said, we just had this meeting, and did you know 2 of the Trails of Tears crossed here in Pulaski? And City Council wants to mark the trail. And I completely flipped out. I was jumping up and down. I was doing the happy dance. I was hooting. I was hollering. And I said, I want to be a part of this. And my students were like, wow, Miss Davidson, she is like crazy. She is flipping out. So it was just a beautiful thing because I went straight to Ted Brown, may he rest in peace, the beautiful president of Martin Methodist College. And I said, hey, this thing happened here, and we need to mark this. And there were a lot of Native American people on the board of the Methodist Foundation, and they really, really wanted something good to happen in Pulaski. And so he said, we will do something together, you and I, and we're going to make this happen. So he said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to have a gourmet luncheon. I mean, top of the line. And it was delicious. And he invited 35 people, and it was City Council, and it was Mayor Dan Spear, and then it was Tentoda, where I met Vicki Garland and Kathy, and where I met, you know, some of Diana and some of the players and angels that are right here. And I said, I got up and I said, you know, I'm a Jewish woman, and I come from New Jersey. And my Holocaust has been marked very beautifully all through Europe. But this is a tragedy that happened here, and it's never been marked. And I vow to mark it. I am going to mark it. And Floyd Ayers came up, and he did this long, great ponytail, and he took the microphone right out of my hand, and he said, I don't know who this woman is, but I'll tell you one thing, she's going to be my friend. And for 22 years, Floyd and Vicki have helped educate me so that I could really mark it in a good way. And so then there were the angels that collected the money. And there were the angels that found the church. And there were the angels that did all of this. That is so beautiful. It was really a beautiful, beautiful effort. And I asked to do the viaduct because I thought it was a very unlovely place. And one of the things that I like to do is take an unlovely place and make it beautiful. And it really has become beautiful. And I really, really thank Peggy, and I thank the darling prisoners at the Giles County Jail who came out and painted this so beautifully. They did not spill one drop of paint. They sanded those railings until they were smooth as glass, and they did everything perfectly. And then we started with the bench project. And there's an angel here, Betty Stevenson, right here. Raise your hand, Betty. And Andrew Salhaney's back there. Raise your hand, Andrew. And they put pieces of glass into these benches with the names of the people that walked the trail from the 1838 U.S. Army muster roll, and we had their names. And we put their names in benches. We still have 6 more benches that need to be poured. And we're making a tower of names for the city of Bodenham that's going to be up within a year. We've got 65 names, and Betty put all those names in, and she helped my students, and everybody worked so hard on it. And so those benches you'll see around, read the names. Take your time. because the names tell a story. And the names are not acculturated names. Those are the names that they gave to the U.S. Army when they got taken from their homes. And they're names like Going Snake and Man Killer and Duck's Widow. And one of the names even said, Wipe My ... Because these people had been ripped off royally, and they didn't care, you know. So we worked on the benches, and then there's an angel here today who gave me 2 prizes, and I'm not even going to look at her because she doesn't want her name mentioned. But she flew in today to surprise me, and she really funded the whole thing, and she is here. So I thank you, dear angel. Unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And she gave the money to Plenty International, and they are my 501c3. There's a member of the board of directors here right now, Richard Schoenbrunn, and he can talk to you about Plenty. Plenty International is a farm outreach program that goes all over the world supporting indigenous people. They have a big project in Pine Ridge, a big garden project where they feed people. They have projects in Lesotho, Africa, and Liberia, Africa, and a lot of places in this country. They do so much good. I'm so proud of Plenty. I'm glad to be a Plenty artist. And I want to talk to you just a little bit about Sequoia and Wilma Mankiller. I wanted to have some guardian angels for the viaduct. I didn't know whether it was actually going to get painted or not, and I thought, ooh, it's a little bit shabby. We really need some angelic beings to guard the viaduct and keep it safe. And I chose Wilma Mankiller. She was the chief of the Cherokee Nation from 1985 to 1995. She won the President's Medal of Freedom. Bill Clinton gave it to her because she did so much for the Cherokee Nation and all indigenous children. She made it into a law that white folks couldn't just go and adopt a Cherokee baby and take that child away. She did so much for her tribe. She won 18, count them, 18 honorary degrees. And she was just a powerhouse. And not only that, but here's the real circle. She was one of the first donors to Plenty International. And she gave to Plenty International every single year until she died. So, I mean, she's just amazing, okay? She's a force. And then there's Sequoia. There he is, Sequoia. Sequoia is one of 2 people on this entire planet that actually figured out a syllabary to a language all by himself. He figured that out. He didn't know how to even read English. Think about that. He was not a reader. And he worked for years and years and years devising this alphabet. First, he thought of a symbol for each word, and that didn't work out. And then he thought of a symbol for each syllabus, for each syllabary, and that's what he finally came up with. His wife didn't like his work on the alphabet, and she burned his cabin down and all of his notes. He had to start from the beginning again, and then nobody wanted to learn it. So he really had to figure that out. So he got his 6-year-old daughter, he taught her how to read, and then they would go around to all the different little Cherokee land and give instructions, and she would read these notes, and people would go, wow, we better learn that. In 5 short years, think about this, let this sink in, the whole Cherokee Nation had learned how to read. All of the adults were reading. They would go to places and they would study, and they picked it up fast because it was a good method that he devised. And so by the time the Trail of Tears came, they already had a newspaper where the Eastern Band and the Western Band could talk to each other. So that it was a great thing that he did. And the phoenix on his shoulder, on the top of the the Phoenix was the Cherokee newspaper, was the Cherokee Phoenix. And on the top of the Phoenix, it says protection. And that is part of the logo of the newspaper. And that's what I wanted for the viaduct, was protection. So that just worked out perfectly. So, I mean, really, this is just an incredible thing. And these women who have taken the time out of their lives to keep the center open and to keep it available for you, they're just amazing angels, and they really, really worked hard. And I'm just in debt to everyone that made this happen, and I hope you will all enjoy it. We have some flowers to give to Kathy and Brenda. Where's Kathy and Brenda? Kathy and Brenda, come here. We got flowers for you guys. Here, honey. Okay, we'll give them to her anyway. Okay, and I think that's a wrap, and we're going to cut the ribbon, and I want everyone to enjoy, and this is just an incredible blessing. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here.
Mr. Richard with Plenty International.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything? We do want you in the ribbon cutting.
Okay. Thank you.
Say hello.
Hello. I just wanted to say that we, as a board of directors and a nonprofit, that we are 100% behind the work that Bernice has been doing, and we hope to do more. And we're just very, very proud of this event and this place.
Thank you so much.
Bernice. Go to the other side.
Everybody's there.